The last first day in the building of nobody. I was always told that I was special, that I was going to become something amazing one day. But as I sit cramped and sweaty in the small classroom of my final high school year, I begin to rethink those statements. We sit 5 desks to a row, 4 rows back to the teacher's desk. As the teacher rambles on about who knows what, we sit, our bodies emitting uncomfortable amounts of heat, adding to the already hellishly stale air. One kid in the back of the class taps his pencil to the wood, creating a rhythm all of us knew. It says, "I don't want to be here." Several of the kids fan themselves with the class syllabus, a pamphlet we look at only for the first day, then lose in the deep abyss of our lockers, never to be found again. Most of us half zombies due to the lack of sleep from summer jet lag, some of us ready to punch one another. I sit in the middle of the room, all of my belongings stacked as neatly as possible onto my desk. The class falls momentarily silent as the teacher pulls up a slideshow about their summer vacation. I drift off again. I stare at the analog clock on the front wall near the door. It reads 8:50 as the seconds tick by. Just a little longer, I tell myself. Soon the bell will ring, and we will be free. For 3 minutes at least. Then it's time to return to the crummy classrooms again. Maybe a different room, most likely with a different batch of students, but still the same sweat-inducing atmosphere with nowhere to go. The bell will ring, and we will complete the cycle over again. 7 times a day, 5 days a week, and 33 weeks a year. The only thing that keeps me sane is the group of people I call my friends. It's hard to tell when I first met them. Was it 2nd grade? No, 1st grade? Maybe kindergarten? I don't quite remember. They're the kind of people that will stand at your side in the face of danger, cower behind you when your mother is yelling at you, and slap you when you do something incredibly dumb. First, the boss, Faith. She is a black belt in karate. We don't piss her off and fear that she can turn our pelvises inside out. Next, the fangirl of all fangirls, Ray. Armed with diverse knowledge of fandoms too many to count, she will talk and talk until you just walk away unable to process any more thoughts besides how to breathe. Then, the vulgar-mouthed badass, Katie. She's 17 going on 11, though slipping many swear words into her speech, and just overall hating humanity more and more with every second, she has a good heart. Finally, there's me. I consider myself to be the culmination efforts of all my friends, trying to be like each one of them in some way. I have not yet found my individuality. At least, that's what I believe. Others will tell you the complete opposite, that I'm one of a kind, not like anyone else. But, in truth, as of now anyways, I'm just another one of the crowd. My mother, father, family, and close peers will say that my existence is a miracle, that I was brought into this world, for the timing at least, on a mistaken whim, but defied the fate the doctors gave me and kept on living. Here I am, 17 years later, struggling with an identity crisis and what color slop to ingest for lunch. I take my place at the long table stretching the width of the cafeteria, on the edge. Next to me is Faith, as she forces musicals onto our group. Across is Ray, talking about many things, usually The Legend of Zelda. Then it's Katie next to her. I try to strike up a conversation. Sometimes about things I've written, sometimes about games I've been playing recently. Occasionally, I will have an interesting or funny story to tell. But most times, I fail at relaying the information correctly, and the story loses its luster and just doesn't quite hit the mark of the original teller. So, Season 6 of Voltron came out recently, Ray exclaims as she claps her hands together. Oh, I know what I'm doing this weekend, binging all the way, Faith replies. I set down my chocolate milk. I don't understand why you two like that show so much. Ray doesn't waste a second in a reply. Because it's Voltron, have you never seen it? No, and I don't plan to anytime soon. What am I gonna do with you knuckleheads? Katie adds. Oh, you know you love us. Ray throws her hands around her shoulders. I chuckle. So, I've been playing a lot of Reading Historia lately. Did you hear about Alex and how he parked his car in front of a driveway? Apparently he blocked a person in and freaked out when they told him to move. Katie speaks. Okay. I'll just sit here, listening, unseen and unheard. Lunch is almost over now. I pick up my tray and set it on the stainless steel window in the dishwashing lady's station, and move on to the rest of the day. Most people will say I'm a brilliant kid, given the circumstances of my birth. Being born prematurely by several months, it was said that if I did survive, I would be severely retarded, unable to speak or walk, so I guess in those regards I am what you would call lucky. Most of my classes are college-level courses, and I have to say, I'm pretty excited to see what the new year brings for them. But just because I'm in more advanced classes doesn't mean I'm any different than other people. Many kids before me have taken the exact same classes in hopes of getting ahead for when they do start university. I walk into the old biology room at the back of the school. On the lab counters are several boxes of miscellaneous objects. The faucets are rusted out after many years of abandonment, and all that remains of its former glory is a skeleton mannequin and a poster highlighting the major organs of the human body. On the back wall is a TV monitor and a mounted camera. I remember last year when I sat in the same room for telepresence pre-calculus. Now I have returned for another rigorous class. Sullen, I turn on the projector and webcam, and sigh as I dial the number. Beep, beep, beep. The screen goes black for a moment, then to reveal my calculus teacher, Mr. Anderson. He looks at me, smiling ear to ear as he greets me to the class. I feel a cold chill slither down my body. It's just him and his class staring at me, a dispositioned teenager. I sit alone in the room, 4 other desks scattered around randomly. It gets lonely sometimes, not having anyone to relate to, especially when it comes to school and the various courses. The bell rings. The other class clears out, leaving just the 2 of us. Before I hang up, I speak. Mr. Anderson? He looks in my direction. I know this sounds weird to ask, considering we just met, but am I special? He returns an expression of confusion. Well, he clears his throat. Isn't everyone special? I mean, how's to say anyone is more mundane than another? I guess. I just want to stand out, you know? Be noticed, be someone who's different, but not in the I'm a freak sort of way. Well, I'm no guidance counselor, but I suggest just being you. You're sure to find something unique about yourself. I figured you'd say that. I sigh and turn around. Thanks anyway. I hang up and leave the room, headed to my locker. I push through the chaos of the hallways and the densely packed groups on a journey to get to their cars or the buses. Going against the flow of hurried bodies, I get pushed around and tripped by many. Finally at my locker. With my book bag packed, I head for the exit. The corridor is empty. Nothing but myself and several open doors. Some of them offer opportunity, some just remnants of messy students. The exit is closer now. I push the door open and leave behind, for a day, the place of nobody. The sun shines bright overhead. Birds chirp a happy tune, and a light breeze blows through my short, dirty blonde hair. I can see my house on the horizon. The flower bed bordering the perimeter is full of life. The pansies, in many diverse colors, flower in groups, and a clematis climbs the trellis. As I descend the grassy slope into the front lawn, I see that the mulch around the pond has just been redone, crisp and neat. I open the door on the other side of my house, and enter into the kitchen. The sweet scent of pumpkin spice candles wafts through the air. My mother sits on the recliner in the next room over, watching the Ellen DeGeneres show. I set my book bag down near the unused wood burner. She turns her head as soon as the show goes to commercial. So, how was your first day of senior year? Hot, humid, and long, pretty much like any other year. I dare not ask her about my existential crisis, as I know she'll lecture me about how I almost died at birth and should not be worrying over such things. Instead, I should be working to excel as much as I can, and I do. I feel like I push myself a lot. I just don't have unique skills. Hang on, let me rephrase that. I have skills and things that I enjoy doing, just nothing I can say that I'm a master at and can call my own. Like drawing, I'm decent at it, but it's not anything anyone would want to buy. It's not going to get me that killer job when I'm older. Being a senior about to go into college, I'm expected to know what I want to do in life, what I want to be, and what kind of life I want to have after school and into adulthood. Hell, they ask you in kindergarten, what do you want to be when you grow up? When posed this question, most kids will answer with firefighter, doctor, or my personal favorite, astronaut. And I guess that's fine and all. It's good that kids are dreaming. The most successful people followed a dream they had, maybe from when they were younger, even if they don't realize it. But then the question pops up again in middle school, and oh boy, does it get treated like your damn life depends on it. In middle school, our teachers had us do a PowerPoint about what we wanted our career to be, and where we see ourselves in 5 and 10 years, among other things. Let's see, where do I see myself in 5 years? Oh yeah, still stuck in this building! At least in college, there's other things to do and so much more stuff that's offered compared to high school. At least where I go. If you like theater, become a member of the theater kids in their club. If you want to sing, sing in the campus choir. If sports is more your thing, go join football or track and field. And if you're really talented in art, they have a program for that too. There are so many possibilities. The funny thing is, I thought the whole middle school thing was bad. No, high school is the kicker. Once in 9th grade, all students are required to sign up for a website known as Career Cruising. Through their 4 years, each student has a profile that has to reach 100%, compiled from career matchmakers, journals, school searches, etc. When you become a senior, you must complete it to 100% and present a PowerPoint to the school board to even be able to graduate. Sorry about that. Looks like this turned into a bit of a rant. Anyway, back to the story. Well, I hope you had fun. After all, it was your last first day of school. My mother smiles. I nod to her as I return to the kitchen and grab an orange, a bowl, and my book bag before I disappear up the stairs and into my room.